We're back. I'm your host, PKP. Good morning from the office. I was eating my clementines. Y'all are going to catch me. Good morning. North Georgia's only live online morning show, fetchyournews.com. That's fetchyournews.com. I'll wait for Lonnie's return. And, okay, here's what we talked about. Let me make sure we're clear here. We have an hour left on the show. First, I want to thank Wendy. I want to thank Wendy for giving us a call and leaving a message. We couldn't get to the phone at the time you called, Wendy, but I listened to your message during the break, and I want to thank you. And Wendy says, dittoed what you said about cursive writing, Lonnie, about if it's just typed in and it's not personal, it doesn't have all the feelings that go with it. And she remembers her dad sending her cards in cursive, and you know what I'm saying? So she went basically down the importance of cursive and things that the kids should have to learn to read and write cursive.
And
so
maybe do it to your kids and your grandkids, because I still have handwritten notes from my grandmother. And she's passed now, but some of the most sentimental things I have.
It's from your grandmother writing that note?
Cursive.
In cursive?
Yeah.
In a card?
Yeah.
I got it. And Wendy felt the same way. So, yeah, I've enjoyed doing that story this morning and talking with you guys. Don't want to switch gears in a whole different direction. But the media is going to spend all day figuring out whether Donald Trump thinks that it's a war on Christians or a war on humanity, and if he's going to change his immigration plans, and so on and so forth. But you and I cannot wait for somebody to designate or decide where the war, what the war, and who the war is on. Who, what, where, when, and how. It's war. And yes, it is war, and they have made it that way. And I'm telling you, folks, it's radical. Obama would not say it. Your president-elect will say it. So don't let the media sidetrack you of what Donald Trump thinks. Donald Trump went everywhere and said, Merry Christmas. Okay? He told you Merry Christmas. And he says radical Islamic terrorist. And he's going to put a stop to it. This is an exclusive out this morning. Says ISIS put out holiday attack list of U.S. churches. So don't wait for anyone to send you a message to your home this morning wondering if it's a war on Christianity. Islam is a war on Christianity with radical people leading the charge. Now, I said that, I changed up the order of the words because I'm going to upset some people. But the Islam, the Quran, Christians, you're going to say, well, I've got friends live down the street for 22 years. They're Muslims, and Muhammad Ali was a Muslim. Okay, let's not go down these endless roads. But the reality is, for these people, they cannot live with you, the Christians. There's a war. And it comes out of the Islamic religion. Now, if you want to say it's radical, and you're going to get tied up with homegrown radicalism, or they were radicalized right here, all the above. At the end of the day, it is messages that these people get. Exclusive. ISIS puts out holiday attack. Thank you, Obama. I need to thank you one more time this is what you should do. We talk about the presidential library. You need to add this to your Obama presidential library as a going away, your last week or 3 weeks in office. ISIS, that you created a vacuum which created ISIS, whether you like it or not out there, liberal left. And you need to put in the presidential library the copy of this article or the list of churches so people can know 3 weeks before. So your Muslim friends, because that is a hot topic. Is the guy Christian? Is he Muslim? His daddy was a Muslim. He had to be a Muslim to go to school. all the above. I've seen all that. So your Muslim friends will see that you have succeeded at the end of 8 years. By the last 3 weeks, ISIS releasing a list of U.S. churches they want to attack. Thank you, Obama. Yeah, put that in the presidential library, side by side with the picture of the little kid in Syria. You know, the one that got all of our hearts? The little boy in the back of the ambulance, shocked in Aleppo? And what's going on? Well, Obama created the Arab Spring, and after the Arab Spring, everybody got emboldened and think they'd have a civil war. But guess what? Assad said it's not going to happen here. And Obama said, cross this line, and I'll kick your ass. And then the guy said, okay, he crossed the line. Well, cross this one. And then Obama said, cut it out to Russia. All right, let me get past that. The Islamic State published the names and addresses of thousands of churches in the United States and called on its I can't get that one.
Inherent.
Yes. To attack that one, I can't read that and go. My flow that messed me up. Inherent. You sound like the Google. All right. To attack them during the holiday season, according to a message posted late Wednesday in the group's Secrets of Jihadist, a social media group. A user going by the name of whatever, posted an Arabic language message calling for bloody celebrations in the Christian New Year, and announced the group's plans to utilize its network of lone wolf attackers to turn the Christian New Year into a bloody horror movie that will force the infidels to hide inside their burrows during the holidays and regret for the participation of their country in the war against the Islamic State. They say war. The lone wolves will turn the streets into rivers of blood by ramming, exploding, and poisoning. They say war against the Islamic State. They are at war with you, Christians, at war. Period. They have threatened your churches. They are threatening you right here on your homeland. You need to say, hey, I'm not going to put up with this. I'm not going to put, but we need to be clear. Don't wait for the media to tell you there's an assault, attack on Christians, okay? This is a war, a flat out war, and you better be ready. I hate to say it like this, you better be ready to fight it, because that's what it will come to. It will come to you having to fight in this battle, and I know you might not like hearing that. Okay. They run through a crisp. The media keeps making excuses from them, and I'm telling you what, we need to stop accepting every time they rush to the podium with a peaceful Muslim. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear your peaceful Muslim, okay? This is radical Islamic terrorist, and Obama, I just think there's crimes that this guy has committed against his own citizens. That's just my opinion. All right, I want to get to this story, and I don't want to leave yet, okay? The Senate voted 32-16 against the repeal effort before voting by the same margin to adjourn, ending the special session 2 days after the Charlotte City Council gutted an ordinance that in March led the state's General Assembly to pass HB 2. The State House also adjourned without voting. Now, HB 2, North Carolina, that's what we're talking about. And we're basically talking about the general the general comment is, the general meaning of the bill. The general meaning of the bill was that you would use in the state of North Carolina the bathroom of the gender that you identify with on your birth certificate. So if when you left the hospital and you were all of 2 days old, you got 48 hours under your belt, and the doctor that was there, the doctor that was there with the catcher's mitt, and he took a look-see, and he said, we're going to tag this one a boy. So the nurse, lady, man, standing over there with the chart says, okay, you're going with a boy on this one? Yeah, I think we'll go boy on this one. All right, so they write boy down. Okay. And they got it over there, and they go to, do they do this anymore? They put you in a nursery, and they put the little blue stocking cap on you to keep your head all warm there. You're only 3-4 hours old, and they put the little pink one on. Are they allowed to do that one? They're probably not allowed to, because you can't go to the window like, hey, I'm Uncle Billy, and I want to see my nephew. They say he's a boy, but they're all just wearing, neutral colored caps. Where's the boys? They all look alike. They're only 2 days old. I'm serious. I don't know why I'm going with this, but it just freaks me out because it creeps and freaks me out because we are so off track. So anyhow, the doctor marks, boy, and we're going to tag this one a girl. And next thing you know, bada bing, bada boom, you got 9 years later, you got some little boy that can't catch the ball at second base. He's thinking, well, maybe that's not for me, and I'm really like a Barbie dream house. I know. I said I was going to try to attempt 2 hours without offending anybody. I just offended everybody and some. But that's the point, okay? That's just with me. So North Carolina, here's what the Huffington Post. North Carolina fails to repeal anti-LGBTQ RSTUV, because they'll have some different letters before it's over, bill. What was supposed to be a smooth repeal of North Carolina's anti-LGBTQ law fell apart Wednesday as Democrats and Republicans backed out on the deal to put forward a clean repeal bill. The General Assembly voted to adjourn its special session after more than 9 hours with the law still on the books. So guess what? HB 2 is still law in North Carolina. HB 2 barred cities and localities from enacting an anti-discrimination policy that protect people on the basis of sexual orientation and gender identity, okay? So it's also prevented schools, this is what really gets them, because they want your children, folks, they want your children. It also prevented schools from allowing transgender students to use the restroom that corresponds with their gender identity rather than their gender assigned to them at birth. Folks, gender at birth and gender identity, that is the two things that you need to write down now. Gender at birth and gender identity. Who will be the judge of when you're able to decide you have a different gender identity? Huh? I mean, we all know Bruce Jenner went crazy. We know that. He went crazy. I mean, it's part of the freakish whack job Kardashian world that they've all been a part of. It's it. He went crazy, okay? Gender identity and gender assigned to them at birth. Now you have to understand, this really makes me angry. I said to myself, I came in this morning, I'm driving, and I said, don't do anything that's going to upset you. Don't get worked up today. But gender assigned to you at birth. The gender wasn't assigned to you at birth. You were born. You're a damn boy or girl. The doctor said, I went to medical school, They're telling us at medical school, if it looks this way, if it looks that way. Assigned to them at birth. That's assigned to. Identity assigned. Meaning, I myself identify, but at birth, someone else assigned this to me. Republican Governor Pat McCrory and Republican lawmakers pushed HB 2 through the state legislation after Charlotte passed a non-discrimination ordinance protecting lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer people. I thought they were all queer. I swear to God, I can't get the Q because I don't want people to get upset, but I don't understand the Q. I mean, what is just queer? What is that? I mean, could somebody tell me? Send me a message. Explain the LGBT. Explain queer people. I don't know. Now that's what Granny used to say. Now it wasn't quite queer. It was queer. Now that boy's a little queer. Anyhow, and he played on the Andy Griffith Show. But there has been significant changes in the state since then. Business have pulled their jobs and events out of the state. McCrory lost re-election. Democrat Roy Cooper and Republicans are sick of having to deal with the national uproar. On Monday, Charlotte City Council voted unanimously to rescind its non-discrimination ordinance under the promise that the General Assembly would remove theirs, would repeal HB 2. Charlotte rescinded theirs, but hey, the State House did not. In response to Charlotte's move, McCrory called the legislature back for special session Wednesday. Democrats said Wednesday that they were expecting a clean repeal bill. Instead, the list goes on that Senator Phil Berger, the GOP leader of the chamber, put forward a measure that would set a 6-month cooling off period during the time localities would be barred from making changes to the ordinance and issued an employment and public accommodations. In other words, HB 2 would essentially be in effect for another 6 months. The measure could also have tied the hands of localities looking to change ordinances. So it failed, okay? It is still in place. HB 2 is still in place. North Carolina is still in business. I want to see some true economic numbers from North Carolina, not just that the NCAA left. All right? So HB 2 failed. The bathroom bill is still in place. I'm sorry, folks. I try not to go too deep into some of these social issues, but I'll have to say this. It's very upsetting when I read gender assigned at birth and gender identity. That just turns the tops of my ears red. Okay, before I go to another break, Lonnie, I wore the jean jacket. I'm going jean jacket today, and I'm wearing the hoodie, and I didn't want any, it doesn't say, Penn State. It doesn't say State Penn. It doesn't say, Texas Tech. All the above. Just the plain. But here's the thing, Lonnie, okay. Now, I'm walking around Blue Ridge, I'm walking around LJ, and I'm going to these places, and I am seeing predominantly, every once in a while I bump into a guy, I'm seeing these young ladies, and their pants are ripped to shreds. They're ripped to shreds. I mean, I see jeans, and they're ripped to shreds. And, I do the old guy thing of like, do you know there's a hole in your pants? And they look at me like, who's the old guy that just said that, And then I ask some people, I say, did you buy those jeans that way? You know what I'm saying, Lonnie?
Yeah.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking to myself, okay, now, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but Lonnie, this is the original BKP jean jacket. Okay, this is the original. This goes in the way back. Look at how frayed. Can you see how frayed that collar is? Mm-hmm. How tore up? Look at that. Look at that. This is old school. This is Levi's old school. Now look at how frayed and wore out the front is. Okay, you see how frayed it is all the way down through there and everything? This is how frayed it is. I pulled this out of the closet. This is old school. Now, look at the cuffs. You see the holes?
No holes.
You see that? Right. So look at that. That is from years of this, Lonnie, right here. Years of this right here. So I'm sharing that. See that? I mean, old school. Now look at the other side. Okay, all frayed around the bottom and everything. Look at this. Look at the holes. See that, Lonnie? The holes in the cuffs, the collar's all frayed. And I'm thinking, what can I get for this? $400 or $500?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm serious. I'm thinking, oh my God, what if I put this on eBay?
Try and sell it as you make sure you use the words age to perfection.
Look at the top. I mean, it's, and I'm thinking, what can I get out of this? I mean, this is a big money coat now.
It's all about marketing. You gotta call it vintage.
But you know what? This is from wear and tear. I mean, I could sell this as an original wear and tear. This jean jacket, this Levi's jean jacket, folks. Let me just throw it out there. This jacket right here is, let's see, 20, 30, 40, 50. So that'd be 32, add the 4. This jacket's 36 years old, Lonnie. That's 36, that jacket is 36 years old. That's how cool BKP was in high school. I was too cool for school. Anyhow, let's go back here. 36 years old that jacket is. Now, so I thought today, Lonnie, if I need to get started on this one. I mean, I looked at this in the closet. I said, my God, I got an investment there. I need to get started, right? Mm-hmm. So I got the cuffs up to see if I can get the wear and tear going and everything like that. I don't have the collar up. Lonnie, take us to break. When we come back, President Obama continues to his war on coal. We're going to talk about that. And I don't want to end today without a brief, I say a brief, but a brief Christmas message from me, BKP. So Lonnie, take us to break. We'll be back after these messages.